Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take these off so the glare's not bad. Here we are, once again. Torn into pieces. Can't deny it, can't pretend. Anyways, we're here again. I have my friend Pete in the back. I don't know him, but I've been watching the videos on Origin USA. And so, I'm going to dive in today in this little quick chat about what I am doing, how I'm resetting my career, my life at 33, almost 34, and how I plan on doing that. So, hey, if you've never been on this channel, it's not like there's a huge following, but maybe there will be a few people who've watched some of my videos in the last decade or so that I've put on here, and we've gone from everything from Christian encouragement videos to some short films to dad life stuff to dad entrepreneur life and stuff like that. A lot of those videos are hidden now so you can't see them, but anyways, so we've gone through a lot of different stages, and I've always liked creating videos, and my wife and I were wedding photographers, videographers at one point when we lived in Austin, and while she was the main person, I just kind of jumped in and helped out. But I also did some stuff for church and for just my own projects because I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the creative process, and I've always enjoyed drawing and coloring and creating stuff. And as I went into college, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but somehow I got put into computer science. I chose to be in computer science, or actually engineering. I went to electrical engineering, almost failed out, and then I switched over to computer science because it was easier to get into, and then I graduated with computer science. I helped start a company in college and going out of college, a small startup, and then eventually went over to join another big startup that actually was making money and did software development for them, and now I'm still doing software development today. And while I mostly do front-end work, I'm going to hide Pete, we'll come back to Pete in a sec, but while I mostly do front-end work, which means if you're new to the software space, I do the interfacing on web application, websites, the button, the drop-down, the grid, anything where it's like data-driven analytics. I do the stuff on the front that you see. And so that's mostly what I do today. And I still do that. So how am I changing my life? I didn't just jump off a cliff and quit what I was doing to do my new thing, which I'll tell you in a second. But the goal and the idea here is that I'm going from this to this over here. And I can't really just jump out and quit because I'm not a millionaire. We're living basically paycheck to paycheck, even though I get paid really well. But part of this process is I know, and I've known for a long time I don't want to do software forever. And I've tried, ever since college, I've tried to do stuff on the side, but just never really stuck with anything to create a business on my own in the software space. And even last year I did something with my brother, and we were doing it for a little while, and it just takes a lot of effort to get something to work. And so we're not doing that anymore. I even tried to do the Bolt Hackathon last year. I made a whole new YouTube channel on that. Anyways, I've tried a lot of things in the software space and just know that's not where my passion is, what I want to do, what I want to spend my time doing. So for some years now, I've done other stuff. So 4 years ago, maybe 5 now, I started an apparel company called Happy Jesus. Did that for a couple of years, but then we shut it down, and I tried to do some Christian card game, and I did that for, not last year, but the year before that. Basically ended up shutting down because I had a trademark I was using that I wasn't aware of. It actually looked like we put out the same game name at the same time, but they had the trademark. So anyways, I closed that down. Thankfully, I sold most of those games. I still have a few, but I closed that down. And then at the same time, I was also starting 2 hat brands. And so the hat brands are, we got this. This is my dad brand. Dad Life, and this is my Houston brand, H-Town. And so that's what I've been doing the last 2 years. So it's been over 2 years now that I've been doing those hat brands, and I put a lot of money into it, a lot of time, a lot of effort, and it's been really fun. I enjoy the creative process. I've always enjoyed hats. I've always enjoyed, not always, but creating some content around that. Just like the whole process of apparel, and specifically hats, I've really enjoyed. I'm not like a designer, but I can do some design. And hats like this is a hat. It has a D on it. This isn't my hat. But something like this, it's simple. You don't need to be a designer to do it, but you need to have a design aesthetic. Like, you need to know that this is wool, it's navy, it's got a green satin undertone. The back is like a leather closure. And so you have to have some design aesthetic to do hats, because you need to know what's going to look good for a hat. So me having a little bit of design chops can get me that way. But doing design for shirts, you actually have to be like a graphic designer to do that if you're doing graphic tees. Of course, if you're doing something like this, you don't need to be like a graphic designer. But anyways, I've tried graphic design, and I'm not the best graphic designer. I can still get away with it sometimes, but I'm just not very good. And I keep practicing and try, but with hats, I don't have to be as good as that, because I like simplicity. And so that's where really all the things that I enjoy doing are, interlaced. And so they always talk about the internet, your ikigai, I think is what it's called, and what you're like passionate about, what pays you, where your skills are at, something else, maybe like where the market is or something like that. That all comes together in the circle, and that's what your purpose is, or what your career can be. And as being a Christian, like, my purpose is more so like, my career is part of that, but like, I don't try to find my identity or like why I get up in the morning to be my career. But there is something to say about getting up in the morning and being excited about building something that God has put in your life to do, And so my priority is God, my family, and then work. And so what the plan is to be doing is to not just do my hat brands. I actually might be shutting down the Houston brand so that I can focus. Focus has never been my strong suit, but as I've gotten older, I can't have a million things going on because it makes me stressed out all the time. And I need to not be stressed out all the time for my kids and my wife. And so there's that. So I've learned more to focus and to actually care about something that I care about, not just for 2 weeks, and I'm glad that I could have been afforded time and money being a software developer to, figure out what I actually like and enjoy to do. That's like, I've been super thankful for that. And so my software job still funds my life. It still funds my family's life. It still puts food on the table, and I'm eternally grateful for that. And I still work hard at work when I have work to do. So going from depending on software to doing this new thing. And so the new thing isn't my dad hat brand. My new thing is actually hat manufacturing in America. And so that's the new project. And it's something I've been working on for, January 2026. Maybe a couple months now. But a couple months ago, I bought a sewing machine. So you can see that there. Actually, that's the cheapest one I think you can find, and I started to learn to make hats. So I'm actually making a couple now. This is like the camper style hat, for the brand, and here's another one. This is like a wool baseball style hat. Sorry if I'm getting a little blown out there. Wool baseball style hat. That's kind of like this. That's like this baseball style hat here. You can see that. And then this is my canvas, my mid-profile canvas hat. It's got a little detail there, snapback. Got some metal eyelets there, nice brim. It's unstructured, so there we go, look at that. I was gonna sell this, so I don't really want to wear it that much. But yeah, there we go. I made this hat with my own hands, bought the fabric, brim, all of it, with that sewing machine, which is actually really hard to do. So I've been learning that, just kind of grinding away, and sorry, I was looking at my wife. I'm just kind of grinding away, learning, and then building the brand part on the side. So the goal really is to build some kind of manufacturing, and I'm going to start small, but eventually grow to a bigger brand. And so there's going to be two components to my brand. I'm calling it Arena American Headwear. And the idea is to do all of the things in America. I'm tired of all the hats that you basically know are made overseas. You know, we'll have a further discussion on that another time. But they're all made overseas. They're made for cheap. And though they can be really good quality, and though I've used overseas production for my brands, I want to build here, and it's possible. So we're going to start small. We're going to build the brand of Arena to sell hats. Think Melon, but for more outdoorsy brand like Seeger. So we'll have different style of hats, like the baseball hat, like the mid-profile hat. We'll have a taller one. We'll have a camper hat. So we'll have these different style hats, and then we'll have branding that's it's simple, it's nice, but it's not too much in your face. And we'll have some in your face, but not too much, you know? So we'll build that brand, and by we, I mean, it's just me right now. But the idea is to work with people eventually, however that works out. So build that brand, and then work with other partners as well to do their hats. So there's so many different hat brands out there. I even think of, you have Seeger, but you also have like Howler Bros, and you have Hermanos, and you have I don't know. There's a lot of brands, even Texas Hill Country, Provisions. A lot of those brands that do similar style to what I am doing. My wife is just looking at me. Similar style hats to what I can do, and I know that like with Seeger, my production uses basically the same hats for like what I get for my dad brand. And so if I can make those hats and be able to get production up and running, and then still that business, not still, but move the production from overseas to where all these brands are doing it to in the States, and still put out the same high quality hats for these brands that are all like rugged country American style brands. Like, I think that would be just a perfect setup. So the idea is to do that for brands, and of course we got to start small, and then I got to train up people to sew hats, make hats, do the design, do content, just the whole 9 yards, right? So going from the software job to that is going to be a journey. And as I'm watching Pete, my buddy Pete, come on Pete, where are you? Anyways, Pete from Origin, go check out his channel because it's very helpful. And yeah, once again, I don't know him personally, but I enjoy watching him. And they're building American from farm to I forget what they say, farm to fabric, whatever, field to shirt, something like that. They're doing it all in America. Blue jeans, shirts, not hats, but I'll get your hats, Mr. Pete. I'll develop your hats for you. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do hats. I'm going to do it in America, and I've started the last couple months, and I'm going to grow that from the ground up. And that is what I'm doing now. And so I'm going to move from software to hats completely, while still building my dad brand and building this new hat brand too. So that's me. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention too, I'm moving out of state, out of Texas, and we'll make a video on that later. Thank you for watching. Y'all subscribe if y'all are interested in this new journey, and I'll post here sometimes. So let me in the comments. Let me know Let me know in the comments what's up, and I'll see you later. Thanks for watching.